Welcome to the Self Study Show. I'm Ant Austin, and today I'm going to go through a presentation with you talking about how to overcome self-doubt, and then we're going to show you some strategies for getting confident so you can live a life that you want and live a life that you design based on all of your own decisions. Now, as I said, I'm Ant Austin, and I'm here with Jer Norris. So, Jer, introduce yourself.
Yeah, what we love here at Be the Limitless You is we love watching people grow and becoming the best person that you were meant to be. So today, our topic is going to be on self-doubt and overcoming self-doubt. And Anne's going to do a quick slide about self-doubt, and then we're going to run into some strategies to overcome self-doubt. So take it away, Anne.
Okay, so I've got a little slide up because this is a such an important subject that so many of us are stuck with. So many of us think we're not good enough. So I've got this slide. So overcoming self-doubt, strategies for getting self-confident. Now, I think it's really important here to look at how self-doubt came about because you're not born with this self-doubt. It's conditioned into you through past circumstances. And when we talk about the law of cause and effect, self-doubt is an effect. So when we look at this, one of the things we need to understand is like, what is the root cause? Because when you understand the root cause, then you start to get an understanding and a belief that if this cause caused this effect for self-doubt, then all I need to do is take another cause to get self-confident. Because so many of us think that, oh, we were just born not confident. But that's not true at all. Because each of us as a baby, we are literally born as a blank canvas. You never hear a baby or even a toddler say, I'm not very confident. But you'll often hear adults say it and teenagers because they've had more life experience. And sometimes, especially when you're a child, you are subject to your environment. So therefore, you don't have the choice or the understanding to know what's right or wrong, or what should be happening and what shouldn't be happening. Everything that comes to you is just ideas that you internalize, and we're all like victim and vulnerable to it. And therefore, we can develop self-doubt and have beliefs that we're not good enough and we're not cut out for this. And that this is where we can start comparing ourselves to others and say, well, they can do this, but I can't. I'm not that type of person. So it often causes us to think, well, what's wrong with me? But here's the thing, that's the wrong question. The right question is, what happened to me? In this case, you, because I'm talking to you, I'm trying to help you out. So, what past event happened to you which caused the effect of self-doubt? Now, I know for me, I know for Jer, many causes happened for us to get self-doubt within our lives. And here's the thing, we are all essentially the same as human beings. We are all essentially the same. What makes us different are our results and our thoughts and the experiences that we've had. And because our mind is a supercomputer that fires from experience and emotions, it shapes our worldview. And this is where we get into our beliefs and our thought habits and our behaviors. But it all comes from what happened to us. So, in order to overcome self-doubt, it's really important that, in my opinion, you understand where it come from and how it was formed, how it grew in you, because it wasn't there at birth. It wasn't there at birth. So these are just a couple of examples of how self-doubt could inflict you. So I'm sure we can all relate to this photograph here. Like everyone's laughing at the boy in this photo. I'm sure we've all had that happen to us at some point. And just think at this age, if you cast your mind back to when you were this age, before this kind of event happened, you would have been confident as you like. You would have had the world at your fingertips, you would have just seen good probably. Everything was good, and your parents and all the teachers, they held all the answers to life, and you were making friends, and then a moment like this happens. And then suddenly all of that is under question just in an instant. And this is where you can start getting self-conscious. Well, why are they laughing at me? What makes me different to them? So I'm sure we can all relate to this. And at this point here, when we're so young, we are operating primarily with our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is what controls us. It's where all of our habits are, our beliefs, again, our worldview. Because our existing reality is just a selection of ideas that are in our subconscious mind. And at this age here, we are only operating with our subconscious mind. So everything is going straight into that mind. And the experiences that one person experiences here is shaping them. And this is why I say we're all the same, but what makes us different is our results and our thinking and our worldview, because we all experience this at different levels. 100%. I think I can almost guarantee that. Now, this can lead when you get into sort of teenage years. I'm sure we've all experienced this one as well, where you're not so much being laughed at, but you're almost being put as an outcast. You might be considered weird or not in with the crowd. And again, what that makes us do is question ourselves. It makes us self-conscious. We suddenly become conscious of what we say, how we look, how we dress. We suddenly probably become conscious of like trends and what the cool kids are doing and how you should act. And this also comes from teachers as well, who are marking our work, and then they might be grading our artwork, for example, which is our drawing, and they're making a decision whether it's any good or not. And then we can listen to that, which we will do, because at this age here, we still have this belief that adults hold all the answers to life. So you can see how this compounding through the years, and all it's doing is reaffirming your beliefs that you're different and you don't fit in. And again, this is something that school kind of teaches us to fit in and is thrown at us. This narrative, you have to fit in, you have to make friends and join teams and things like that. Whilst all those things are helpful and necessary to live a happy life, it's not necessarily essential. And this is where we can get self-doubt massively. And what this leads to then is this: when we're an adult, we become an adult who's not sure of themselves. And I'm sure we can all relate to this. I think this is a massive problem in the world, 100%. And all of this stems from our past experience. So if you've got self-doubt, it's because something happened to you. It's not because there's something wrong with you. Believe you me, you have all the power at your disposal. You have rich resources of talent and ability lying dormant within you. 100%. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, you do not need to question that at all. But what you might need to do is sift through some of this past trauma and emotion in order to release it so you can then clear it out the way so you can draw out your full potential to the surface. So this is understanding the root cause. And what's good about this is understanding this is the formula for self-doubt. So therefore, the formula for self-confidence is exactly the same process, just with different experiences, which leads to different behaviors, different thought habits, like a different vision, which leads to a different worldview and a different reality and a different life, a life that you actually love and you're in control of. Because some of these situations here, you're not in control of them because you're so young. And no one gets away with this. We all have to go through it. So when we're adults, we've made sense of the effect. So going back to the cause and effect, it's a law. Whatever you do or say will cause some effect. Basically, when you're an adult, you've made sense of the effect in your own mind. You've just taken on beliefs that you're not good enough, you're not cut out for it, other people are better than you, type thing. And what this leads to is self-sabotage, negative self-talk, and disempowering thought habits. Now, we could do like a whole show on each one of these three here. But self-sabotage, for instance, could be a range of different things that you're doing. This could be addictions, it could be like self-harm, it could even just feel like self-loathing and feeling sorry for yourself, putting yourself in a negative energy state. The negative self-talk. I mean, if most people heard like what they say about themselves, but they heard it from someone else say it, they would be angry with that person. But because they say it to themselves, they kind of let themselves get away with it. And I read a quote recently as well that says your subconscious mind is always listening to you. So be careful with your words. And that includes the words that are within your thoughts. And the quote was, got to remember it now. It was, people often joke themselves into unhappy experiences just through using like negative language. Because what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself is the only thing that matters. So it doesn't matter what other people are saying about you, but through what's happened in the past, you may get into the habit of negative self-talk through making sense of what happened. And number three, disempowering thought habits, which is very closely related to negative self-talk. But disempowering thought habits could just be, I'm not good enough to do that. Or I tried that, but it didn't work. Like giving up easy. And just thinking about things in a negative light. So instead of seeing the positive aspect of everything, it's always going to the negative. Always. There's so many people in a involved in disempowering thought habits, like so many people. Even if someone's going well in their life, they can't accept it because they're in the habit of these disempowering thoughts. And all of this, what this leaves you with is an underlying belief that you're not good enough. And that shows you how self-doubt is formed through the law of cause and effect. And by the way, the cause that I showed with, being bullied and laughed at and things, that's just one aspect of it. You might have had trouble at home. You might have been like different kinds of causes have led to your self-doubt. I'm just giving you an example. So that is the end of the slides. What we're going to talk about now is me and Jer are going to talk about some strategies for getting confident. So I've talked for a while, Jer. Do you want to?
Yeah, that presentation is absolutely fantastic. And before we go into the strategies, I just want to add something to that as well. So I just want to tell you a little story because what Ant has touched on is really, really important. So basically from back in your school, it's back from when you were a child, really. So you could have been a kid that was low in confidence because maybe you went and played football for the first time and you weren't really good at it. And all the other kids were really good at it. And then, the next day you might have went to do something else and you fell over and everybody laughs at you. And then your confidence is quite low as a child. Um, and you can't express yourself. As a young child, you don't have the capabilities in your mind to be able to express yourself. So then all of a sudden you think, oh, I don't have any confidence. I'm a quiet person. And what happens then when you grow through your life is you keep infusing that habit. So then something like, let's say in secondary school, everybody's going to sign up for the school play or something. And then you say, no, I'm not going to do that. You're compounding that belief then. I'm not confident. I don't have self-worth. And then through your whole life, you will seek out, even subconsciously, you will seek out to keep infusing that belief. And it's a cause and effect. And the more causes you do, the more effects you have, and the more you infuse that belief. So by the time, exactly what Anne said, by the time you get to an adult, you really have a lot of self-doubt within you. And because you've compounded that over the last 20 years of your life. So then you've got this belief system running that is, yeah, you're not good enough. And it will hold you back in all areas of your life. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because just the compounding of it. But also, as what we touched upon, is the opposite is confidence. And you can rebuild your confidence and your and strategies for getting confident by compounding it in an opposite. The polarity is the opposite to it, which is a confident person. And we all have these abilities within us to become the person we were born to be, this confident person. We just have to overcome the inner child, the beliefs that were created from the past. So a couple of strategies that we could go along that lines of self-doubt would be to try and get over our limiting beliefs. But before we get into that, we have to be aware. We have to have awareness. So what is awareness? Awareness is being aware of the negative self-thought, the negative thought processes, and negative language that we use towards ourselves. Another great phrase from Bob Proctor was, don't be the victim of negative self-thought. You're always listening. Or negative self-language, because you're always listening. Your subconscious is always listening. So when you start to have awareness, then you'll start to pick up on these little negative thought processes, areas where you get fear and self-doubt. So you kind of go, right, you get into a certain situation as an adult, and you just immediately you think the negative, and then you go, actually, hold on, why am I thinking negative on this situation? I haven't even really discovered what it's about, or I haven't even looked into it, and I'm already thinking the negative. Now, where does that come from then?
In order to shift your belief system, you first have to become aware of your limiting beliefs. Because if you're not aware of them, and believe me, if you're anything like me, there'll be loads of them that you're not aware of. And sometimes I've written them down, a belief, and I've thought, I don't believe that. I've got enough knowledge, I've read enough books, I've been to enough seminars to not believe that. Intellectually, I don't. But really, I do. And the way you know whether you believe a belief or not is you've only got to look at your results. You've only got to look around you. And that's the thing. You can understand something on an intellectual level, but when your results indicate you've never even heard of it, then you don't believe it. One of the strategies for getting confident is restructuring your belief system. So you might have limiting beliefs such as people will always let me down. No one cares how I feel. I'm not good at this. I'm not a creative person. People will not listen to me. People don't want to hear me talk. And you
Yeah,
get
I
other ones
can't
as
do it.
well. You get other ones as well that like people will throw at you. Ones like no one likes a smart ass, things like that. And if we take that and we end up believing them, then our beliefs are responsible for all of our unconscious responses, and therefore we're making it a reality. So belief is huge. And our personality is nothing but like a set of coordinates and beliefs that we've formed. But we can reframe all of these beliefs and believe better beliefs. So the idea of restructuring your belief system is to go from a limiting belief, investigate it, reevaluate it, and then turn it into an empowering belief that you do believe 100%. So you can change a belief from people will always let me down to the right people will always be there to help and support me. And not just use them as words, but actually internalize them. And that's what when I mentioned earlier about the subconscious mind. When you're a child, you're only operating with your subconscious mind up to around 7 years old. After that, then our mind is like divided in half, and we've got a conscious part of our mind as well, which as adults, that's where we make like our daily decisions and what we're going to do, things like that. But what's actually driving our behavior is everything that's in our subconscious mind. That's responsible for all of our habits, our behavioral habits, our thought habits. Like you can drive your car without giving any conscious thought to it. I mean, because that's what a habit is. A habit is something you do without giving any conscious thought to it. So, say when we're talking about the disempowering thought habits before, say life's going really well for you. Say I don't know, you've just brought a new car or something. Then even though you might feel happy about it, the subconscious mind will pick up on it and it might say, oh, yeah, but it's got a dent there. It will find the negative, the disempowering, not because that's the way you are, it's just the way you presently are because you're in the habit of it. And here's the thing to
Yeah.
consider, right? Don't get so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. Because the present version of us is all from the past, basically. It's the expression of the past and the ideas that are in our subconscious mind. So don't get so attached to this person who you are in the present to not give the future version of you a chance. So the best strategy for getting confidence, and the first step, in my opinion, is understanding exactly who you are, which is why I wrote my book, Who the Hell Are You? Because we need to get back in touch with who we truly are and what we truly want and understand how we work. Because then, once we understand those things, how we work, what we truly want, then we know how to put ourselves to work in order to get it. And we're making our own decisions. And we don't have this world view that comes from the bully when we were 7. We don't need to identify with that pain anymore because it's no longer occurring. And
Yeah. Well,
go on, go back to you.
no, it's saying, yeah, the only way you can really get ahead is, yeah, as what you said, is to overcome your limited beliefs and your self-doubt. And it's not an overnight solution because you've compounded the negative thoughts for 20 odd years, as I said earlier on. So to basically overcome yourself, exactly like what Anne said, who the hell are you? Because to overcome yourself, you have to actually find out who you are. And to find out who you are, you actually have to look within yourself. So it all starts with you, the inner you, which is your inner child. And again, it boils back to, because I want to finish what I was before my mind went blank, was on the awareness. And you can only start finding out who you are by becoming aware of who you are. And then you look at your belief system and you go, well, why did I respond like that? Why did I lose my temper with my children? Or why did I respond to my work colleague like that? What triggered that? And that's where the awareness comes in. And then you've got to look back. You can only join the dots looking backwards. You can't join the dots looking forward. So once you start looking back into your life and go, actually, something will come up. If you go away for about 15 minutes or something, sit in silence, close your eyes, and just think, well, why did I act like that? And thoughts will come from your subconscious of your past, and scenarios will come out. And you go, oh, right, this happened at school or, in a football pitch or with my family, with my parents, that caused me to react like this. And then that's how you start removing these limited beliefs. Because then, as Anne said, you have to then find out what the belief system, what your limiting belief is, and then turn it into an empowering belief. And then once you start turning it into an empowering belief, then you start to change. And then you can start rewriting yourself to be the person you were born to be. Then you can decide who you want to be. Because when we're children, like our parents or grandparents or aunties, uncles, teachers, football coaches, they influence our personality. So we get these traits from them. So we're not entirely ourselves. But once we find ourselves, once you find yourself, then you can start to go, this is the person I want to be. I'm in control now. I control my emotions. The past doesn't control my emotions anymore. I control me. And when you get to that point, it's absolutely fantastic. I've been through it. Anne's been through it. We've removed limiting beliefs. We have a process that we can help people remove limiting beliefs. And once you start removing them, you get remarkable results within your life. Things start to change. Your perspective on things, you look at things completely different because you're not fighting your old belief system anymore. You've got a new empowering belief system. So when you get that challenge in work or with your family, with your children, wherever, sitting in traffic, you now have a different belief system. So you react in a completely different way. So then as you keep doing this more repetition, you get more confident. As Anne said, like we were all born confident children. As little toddlers, we'd all run off a cliff. There was no fear. So we developed fear. So as we do this, we get more and more confident. And then you can start planning your life a little bit more. You can start looking forward a little bit more. And then once you get your confidence back, you could do your planning a little bit more, and then you can start rewriting your life. How do I want to live my life? What experiences I want to have in my life? And they won't scare you anymore because you'll be wanting to live this more fulfilled life because you'll feel a lot happier, which was coming from within. Because once you change all your belief systems, you change everything. Your emotion, your energy, everything is flowing through you so much more. You'll start to progress more in work. At home, you'll end up having more time because you'll remove a belief system that I don't have enough time, which I'm pretty sure everybody has that challenge. That is only a belief. that's not actually the truth. We all have loads of time. So there's loads of little things that you can do that improves your life all the way along. And then you end up living the best life that you designed for you. And it all boils down with you. And isn't that just a marvelous thing that you could end up living the best life that you designed for yourself? So yeah, back to you then, Ant,
Yeah, so I'll
on
try and
that
round it up because we can talk forever on this.
forever and ever.
There's loads of things we could go into about the law of vibration, the law of attraction, and all different types of strategies. But the thing is, the belief system is a huge one.
Huge.
And when you write down a limiting belief, I know I'm the same. Every time I look at it, I'm like, that is ridiculous. I can't even believe that I believe that. And that's how you get confident because your empowering beliefs give you confidence because all you've really done, we use a journaling process. We've only really journaled something and made sense of it because our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. So when we reevaluate it, our belief about it will change. And we reevaluate our beliefs through journaling. And therefore, once that's done, the other one just goes. And then in the example in the presentation about the causes, you realize that your past, it's all just a load of nonsense that you've sort of internalized. And I don't mean to use that word as if I'm putting it down or whatever, because it's also, it's painful and it brings heartache and all the rest of it. But you realize there's no substance to it at all. And it's just ideas that you've identified with, emotionalized, and it's caused a belief that's living in your body. And we've all done it. And the reason why me and Joe are coaches this is probably because they always say when you're a coach, whatever you coach is the thing that you needed most in your life. So, we're not down talking to anybody when we say this or being trying to be too direct with you. We're just being direct so you can get the message and move forward and be confident. But the best way to be powerful and confident in the present is by using the past as a school, if you like, and taking the lesson from each situation of the past. And then to stay out of the future, you just need to get it well designed. So it comes back again, always to awareness, knowing who you are, making sense of the past, and then asking yourself, what do I truly want? And designing that future. And again, you can design it through journaling. And what this will do is lift your energy, it will lift your confidence, it will ground you, and you will become powerful in the present. Mark my words. So that is the end of the episode. I really hope you enjoy it. Please comment in the comment section below. Please like this video. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.